No Swampert? No problem, says Justice of the Sacramento Kingdras. Let's find out how he plans to overcome Gabe and the Wartortles and secure a spot in the playoffs right now.
Dance like there's no tomorrow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Week 7 team builder with Justice of the Sacramento Kingdras. How you doing, Justice?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. How did the team take moving from Sacramento to Sacramento? Was that pretty smooth?
It wasn't exactly the smoothest transition because I think, when you look it up on, or when you're actually playing a game, I think it cuts the name because it's just not wide enough for one really long word. So since there's no space, I think it was like Sacrament, and then it was like Kingdras or Sacramento Kit, and then the next line was Dras. So.
Yes, I'm sure the fans are livid about such just a terrible injustice. But hey, that's kind of a pun on your name. I didn't really think of that, but whatever. Oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, here we've got your team. You're going up against Gabe this week, right? Who's currently 4-1, hasn't played his game yet against the Pokemon team, but
right.
Yeah. Now I have a question. If he's 5-1, do you expect to see maybe not his A game? Because, at 5-1, he guarantees playoffs.
You're right. He does. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him not bring his A game, but I do not want to plan for not his A game and end up losing,
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. All right, well, let's get into it. What do you have for us this week, Justice?
All right, so this week I am bringing Sableye, Tangrowth, Dragapult, Crobat, Lanturn, and Tyranitar. And this is my my Avatar-themed team, Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Avatar character, Justice?
What's that?
Who's your favorite Avatar character?
It's Toph.
Okay.
So
I'm a Zuko fan.
I felt. Oh yeah, Zuko's pretty high up there. I think Zuko's probably like the best character, but Toph's always been my favorite, and I think it's pretty fitting that my favorite Pokemon's a rock type.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Yeah. Let's get into it. Sableye.
All right. So Sableye. Sableye is here to take care of any sort of like Choice Scarf, Crocodile, or Dragon Dance, Haxorus.
Sure.
Or anything that is starting to set up and run through my team.
Sure.
And so this is
I can get
Will-O-Wisp, Recover, Protect, Toxic. I'm running dual status just in case Toxic is better for more defensive Pokemon like Vaporeon. And Mew potentially, though, depending on the Mew set, you never know. Will-O-Wisp could be better, but Will-O-Wisp is usually better for something like Metagross, Haxorus, or Crocodile are the ones that.
Sure. He doesn't have any. Do you have any Guts users off the top of your head?
He has Flareon has Guts.
Sure.
But he has not brought Flareon once, and I don't really expect to see it here.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I don't know. I think you'd be fine against Flareon, because I don't know. I imagine Zuko outspeeds and comes close to Okoing it, or might. But okay, so keep going, sorry.
No, you're good. Protect and Recover just they work really well in tandem with Toxic. So I'm that's just there to to kind of stall something out, something that is not to hit KOing my Sableye or whatever. And thankfully he only has the one fairy type, so he only gets hit super effectively by Togekiss.
Yep.
And if Sableye's in and I still need him, then Sableye's coming out as soon as Togekiss comes in, because I don't want to take a Dazzling Gleam. It'll immediately jump to a Dazzling Gleam.
Who would you switch to? The Crobat, I guess? Is that kind of your switch?
Yeah, Crobat would probably be my my switch in. It would either be Crobat or maybe Lanturn.
Yeah, okay. And I see your max defense here.
Yes. So with max defense, Impish, and I always run 248 HP, or almost always run 248 HP, because I like having an odd number of HP, just to maximize, to minimize hazard damage and stuff like that. Things like Seismic Toss or Nightshade.
Don't have to be too worried about Seismic Toss, but yeah. On a Sableye.
It's like a very slight optimization that probably doesn't matter most of the time, but it is just a comfort thing. Anyway, with this defensive spread, I know it's not too specific, but I can survive a max attack adamant outrage from Haxorus.
Oh, okay.
As long as he doesn't have a life orb. If he has a life orb and he's adamant, then Sableye drops.
Is that just standard, or is that +1, or just normal, just neutral?
If he has a life orb adamant, I think he still survives if it's like Jolly life orb.
Okay.
And then also lives, hard hits from something like Crocodile, Metagross, and then that's really kind of what I'm worried about here.
Does he have any go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just saying he was, Sableye's just here to click Will-O-Wisp for the most part.
Yep. Now I'm trying to think anything that outspeeds that also, I guess I'm thinking like a Bullet Punch from Metagross or something, like something with priority. I suppose that faster could threaten.
Yeah. So Bullet Punch would outpace me as long as he's not some weird Trick Room sassy minus speed nature or something like that.
Sure.
But I don't know. I'm not too terribly worried because he sponges
if he sponges
Sableye definitely. Yeah, he's living an outrage from Haxorus. He also lives a Meteor Mash from Metagross. So Bullet Punch probably wouldn't even 2-hit KO.
Yeah, probably not.
So I'm not too terribly worried, especially if he's burned.
Yes.
So he might get one Bullet Punch off before he got burned, provided I don't miss.
That is a possibility. All right. Well, cool. That's Sableye. Now, why? I guess. Sorry, your max defense here. So you just expect more physical attackers than special attackers, kind of, or?
Yeah, those are the ones I'm worried about more so. He has a few special attackers. He's got, Mew can be anything. He's got Togekiss. Electros is usually mixed.
Yep.
Vaporeon, but Vaporeon's not usually terribly offensive. So I'm not expecting to have to, I'm not expecting to drop to, a max special attack modest Scald or something like that.
Sure.
Even that, I think Sableye would survive with that amount of HP, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
It's more so the physical threats that I'm worried about, and so again, he's into click Will-O-Wisp and hopefully cripple at least one or two. Of his Pokemon.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's Sableye. You want to move on?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What do you want to do now? Yeah, whatever order you want.
Why don't we just go in order? So we'll do Tangrowth next.
Sure.
All right. So this Tangrowth is here also to deal with some physical attackers. It sponges hits pretty well from the three main physical threats that I have been mentioning: Crocodile, Haxorus, and Metagross. Sorry, I just forgot about something. And the special defense and HP are there so that an uninvested Ice Beam from Vaporeon is not a 2-hit KO.
From who? I'm sorry?
Vaporeon.
Oh, Vaporeon. Okay.
Yeah, so if Vaporeon doesn't have any special attack EVs, the max it does is like 49.7%.
Okay.
So, I can outpace that with Synthesis. Now, Tangrowth could always get toxic, and that, that could be an issue, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not the worst thing in the world because Tangrowth is basically going to come in on Vaporeon, hopefully click Leech Seed, because he doesn't have any grass type, so there's no Leech Seed immunities aside from if Ditto were to switch in, which I don't really see that happening. But
and Ditto doesn't really threaten this thing anyways. You'd beat it one-on-one with like knockoff over and over again in Synthesis, so you don't care if Ditto comes in on this thing, I don't think.
And if Ditto were to click knockoff on my own Tangrowth, then it would be taking Rocky Helmet damage, and that would put me in a pretty good position as well. Actually, I don't even think I'd have to click knockoff. I think I could just keep clicking Giga Drain. Actually, no. Giga Drain doesn't have enough PP for that. But
it looks like your Crobat would wall it pretty well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Crobat does pretty well. Doesn't really care to get knocked off, but
I guess you're right.
Doesn't care too much. With this spread, it also it can survive a +1 max attack adamant outrage. That's like the big damage move that I'm worried about from Haxorus, so that's kind of what I EV'd around.
Sure. Yeah, that is probably the strongest stab move he had. Like the strongest neutral damage move he could probably do to you is Haxorus outrage. I guess like banded something maybe, but
banded outrage. Bandit Outrage, I would survive as well. Because it's EV to survive +1.
Yeah.
Now, if he's +1 Life Orb, I don't think I survive. But the good thing is that I have this Tangrowth I have a bunch of answers in case Haxorus sets up a Dragon Dance.
Sure.
Because that is something I'm really, really worried about.
Yeah. You've got the Sableye, you've got,
Yeah, Sableye, Will-O-Wisp is one of them. Tangrowth is another one. So hopefully, my goal is not to let Haxorus set up a Dragon Dance, and who knows, maybe he doesn't even bring Haxorus. But I'm planning on it. So for whatever reason he does get up a Dragon Dance, Tangrowth can switch in. He's probably going to click Outrage, and then he's going to take 2 turns at least of Rocky Helmet damage.
Okay.
So that'll put him in a pretty good position to that'll put me in a pretty good position to come in and kind of chip away at Haxorus with something else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If all Tangrowth is able to do is just get in and chip him with Rocky Helmet.
Or something. Yeah, or maybe even Leech Seed. I don't know what you do.
I think Leech Seed would probably be my first inclination, just to make sure that he can't just stay in forever.
Yeah, and you can like come in and like protect with your Sableye and like really just kind of screw with him for a while.
Yes, just stall out that Haxorus is definitely one of my routes here.
Yeah,
and then overall just. Tangrowth is just a really good physical wall. It does not care at all about Crocodile. Doesn't really care to get knocked off, but then again, Crocodile does not want to take that Rocky Helmet chip.
Yeah.
And then it can steal off that knockoff damage with Giga Drain.
I mean, this is probably... I mean, Rocky Helmet, like, it's good, but, like... it's probably, I mean, I don't know the rest of your team, but I imagine this is one of the mons that would care least about getting knocked off. I don't know. Maybe that's not true.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I mean, nothing ever wants to get knocked off.
Yeah.
But I think if one item has to go, because Rocky Helmet was, I just kind of threw it on there, and then I started thinking about, Outrage and Knockoff and Meteor Mash and whatnot.
Sure.
And I figured that, that might be a good option. But it was really kind of up in the air what kind of item to put on Tangrowth, so I finally settled on this one.
Okay.
But again, not too big of a deal if it gets knocked off against Crocodile or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. There's Tangrowth. You want to go to Zuko?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. My favorite.
All right. So Zuko here. This is... I never thought I would have to do this, but I've done Choice Scarf Dragapult 3 times.
Yeah.
In this season, I think I did it the first 2 weeks. When did I play Austin?
That was week.
Oh no, never mind. It was Trevor, because it was for Kingdra.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to make sure that it outpaced Kingdra in the rain.
Right.
And then I wanted to make sure that it outpaced, I think week 1 it was was it +2 Cloyster? That doesn't make any sense, but
that would have been week 1.
I think it was first week.
Yeah. Well,
anyway,
you get to just looking at it. So this outspeeds base 100, right? So this would outspeed Mew +1 or something.
Yes, that was what I EV'd it for. It was originally there to outspeed +1 Jolly Haxorus, but then I figured the fastest thing would be a Choice Scarf Mew or +1 Mew, so I might as well just. I think it's only like. I think I only had to put like 12 extra EVs in there or something like that.
I think you can actually get away, by the way, with 36 instead of 40, just so you know. Because I believe 328 is the fastest a base 100 can get.
Yes, but the multiplier for Choice Scarf is 1.5, and I believe it rounds down, and I don't want a speed tie.
Sure, good point.
Yeah. So, so I was thinking about that for a while, and I was looking up online, what the Choice Scarf calculations were, and, because when I do the damage calculator on my phone, it can, it shows me the speed modifiers.
Sure.
Whereas if you do it on your computer, it doesn't show the speed modifier.
Sure.
And so when it shows up on my phone, it shows that it rounds up, but then I looked it up and it said that it rounds down, and I figured it's only going to be like 4 EVs. Yeah. It's just to be safe.
I think, by the way, you would still be good, because right here, so like 492 would be 328 times 1.5, and then 329 times 1.5 gets you to 493.5. So even if it rounded down, you would still be 1 speed faster. But
and 329 is max speed
320
plus nature Mew.
Yes, Mew max speed at plus or at timid or whatever would be 328. But you can look that up yourself. But anyways, it's just 4 EVs. Okay. It's not the end of the world. But yeah,
sure,
I think you can get away with it.
Yeah, and like Choice Scarf Mew, that it's something I worry about, but it's not. I don't think it's likely at all.
Yeah.
But in the event that it's a Choice Scarf physical Mew or something like that, and it's got Poltergeist, immediately one shot my Dragapult.
Yeah.
If it's got close combat, it immediately one shots my Tyranitar, and it's just not. It's just something I have to worry about.
Yep. So. I get it.
And then I put Dragon Pulse in here because Dragon Pulse will kill Haxorus with max special attack Modest.
Sure.
And I did not want to risk a Draco Meteor miss.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I was debating whether to have U-turn or Draco Meteor, but I figured if I wanted to click Draco Meteor on something, it was probably better to just pivot out.
Sure. What's the Fire Blast for? I'm sorry. What does that hit?
Fire Blast. Oh, that's right. So Fire Blast is for Ice Cube.
Oh, okay.
Because Dragapult has Infiltrator, so Ice Cube if IceQ wants to set up some substitutes, I can just bypass that. And then my plan is also not to give him the no ice face form.
Okay.
Because I don't want to have to worry about, 130 base speed plus 1 Slack Berry,
How much does Shadow Ball do to it?
Shadow Ball is still a 2-hit KO.
Okay.
I believe. But if he's already taken substitute damage and everything, Fire Blast does more. And so I think after a substitute, Fire Blast.
You're Infiltrator. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if Shadow Ball would. That's actually something to look up. So thank you. I may have to modify that. Throw in Draco Meteor instead of Fire Blast, or Surf or Thunderbolt or something like that.
Have you? I guess Thunderbolt gives you another way to hit Vaporeon. But anyways, I was going to ask you: have you ever run anything other than Infiltrator? Has you ever been Clear Body or Curse Body? I think,
yes, I've run Curse Body, right. I believe, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think you ran it against Austin, actually, also.
Oh, yeah, because I remember disabling a bunch of stuff. And I know Galarian Corsola has been doing a lot with Curse Body recently as well.
It has. I was like, dang, dude, Curse Body is nice. I guess on a big, beefy thing like that, it's pretty good because it can take a bunch of hits. And
yes, definitely. And so, when I run screens on Dragapult, I like to run Curse Body because I'm planning on taking more hits.
Okay.
And Infiltrator is better especially in this matchup where Gabe has been known to use substitute on his IceQ. Mm-hmm. I just think that's in general the better thing.
Yeah.
And then Clear Body, I really have wanted to run Clear Body because I want to do physical Dragapult at least once.
Sure.
But and that would just be to guard against Intimidate or something like that.
That makes sense.
But sadly, have not had the opportunity to to run that physical Dragapult set like I like.
Sure.
But Intimidate's really the only thing I would really want Clear Body for.
Strength Sap, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things.
That is something to worry about if if I ran the physical.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other I guess there's random like Shadow Ball can get the Spadef drops and stuff, but
yes.
But you don't want to take a Shadow Ball anyways.
That's true. Yeah, I don't want to be taking a Shadow Ball. I think I'm getting 2-hit KO'd by a Shadow Ball from most things.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, fair. All right. Well, that's Zuko. I hope he does well. I hope he, hope he just does well. He's my favorite. Go Zuko.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on to Aang, the protagonist? He's going to have that plot armor, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. That's the goal. So,
this is an interesting Crobat, actually. I'm interested to hear why you have what you have. So,
yeah. So, I was actually talking to somebody about this Crobat set and everything, and because originally I had Brave Bird instead of Super Fang.
Okay.
But then I figured that there's certain Pokemon that will not get touched. For example, Metagross will not get touched at all by Brave Bird. It'll shrug it off really easy, especially without any attack investment. And so then I remembered that Crobat got Super Fang. Mm-hmm. And so I threw it on there, and I was looking at Gabe's team, and I was like, if it's a defensive Mew, then Super Fang's going to do more. If it's, Metagross, Super Fang's going to do more. I think the only thing that Brave Bird would hit harder is, I think maybe Crocodile. Even that, I'm not.
It depends. Yeah, because he has
sure.
Intimidate also. So
yeah, that's true. If you wanted to run that, I'm scared of Moxie, but I would be glad to see Intimidate Crocodile.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I don't know if he's brought it, but I've seen kind of defensive pivot Crocodiles where run Intimidate, Stealth Rocks and stuff. But
I suppose you could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured Super Fang is good for just putting every Pokemon in his team in a bad position. Well, not necessarily like a terrible position. Oh, also he lost his Ghost type. I was telling him.
Oh yeah.
Didn't lose Golurk, but now he's just gonna get destroyed by Super Fang Crobat.
There you go.
But this is just a very defensive pivot Crobat. Got the heavy duty boots, so he can come in and remove any sort of hazards that Mew wants to set. And then it's there, like it's a really good 1v1 against Vaporeon. If Vaporeon has Ice Beam, then it's a little bit worse.
Yeah.
And that's another thing to consider is. What's that?
Oh, I was like, I don't think he's ever actually brought Ice Beam on it, but I mean, hey, maybe this is the week.
I think he brought Ice Beam 1 week, and he had Ice Beam instead of Scald.
Sure.
I think that was when he fought Austin.
Yeah.
Because it was for Landorus.
That's right. I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah, so if he happens to run Ice Beam, which I don't think is likely, well, then again, I have a few pretty strong Ice Weak Pokemon. I got Dragapult, Tangrowth, and Crobat, as well as my new addition, Sandslash, who sadly is not making an appearance this week.
That's
yeah, and well, Scald would hit Sandslash anyway.
True. Very true. Harder, actually, because of the stab, but yeah.
Because stab and potential burn chance, but I think it might just straight up drop to a Scald anyway.
Yeah.
But regardless, if he has Scald and he burns me, now I don't really care about it. Because
get toxic, so that's nice.
And yeah, definitely not going to have to worry about toxic. I was debating Defog versus toxic or Roost versus toxic.
Yeah.
Because I think Roost Toxic Super Fang works really well together, but I do need U-turn to pivot because I don't want to I don't want to commit immediately to any given switch.
Sure.
I want to have the option in case he switches or he's fast or whatever.
And I mean, you do have the toxic on the Sableye, so it's not the end of the world.
I was thinking because my original draft for this did have toxic because due to Crobat's poison typing, toxic is actually I don't think it checks accuracy at all.
That's correct.
But
it does not.
Not that it matters. Because of like evasion clause or something, but I think it's like Aerial Ace where it will always land.
Yeah, well, and it has like a 90% normally. So yeah, no, I mean, it matters for sure.
Yeah, so no need to worry about missing with that. Also, if he has Toxic, then he 1v1s
Vaporeon.
A lot of Pokemon, especially Vaporeon, he can 1v1. Because I can just click Toxic and then keep clicking Super Fang.
And Roost.
And eventually... Yeah, and there's not much Vaporeon can do, but I figured, Vaporeon probably doesn't really want to stay in on Crobat unless it does happen to have Ice Beam and some good special attack investment.
Yeah, he does he does run Heal Bell a lot on his Togekiss, I suppose, but. Yeah, that's true, and Vaporeon does learn it as well, but usually he runs. Wish, Protect, Scald, something else.
Toxic.
Yeah,
so that's kind of the set that I'm expecting. Maybe Ice Beam in place of Scald, or
sure.
Who knows? Maybe he does do something different. Maybe he brings Heal Bell, in which case I would be glad I didn't have Toxic on Crobat because it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But then Crobat can just come in, Super Fang, Vaporeon, a couple times, and then Roost if it needs to, defog, and then U-turn out into something that maybe handles Vaporeon a little bit better. It is better at finishing it off. I mean.
Yeah.
So that was That's Crobat.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on to Katara.
Katara the Lanturn.
Yeah.
Sat out, I think just last week.
Oh, is that so?
I think. It sat out last week and the week before.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, I brought it the first 4 weeks, and she's coming back.
Okay.
So this is another. I have a lot of really physically defensive Pokemon. So if he happens to have something like Choice Specs and Togekiss, that could be a problem.
Choice Specs, Togekiss, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not too terribly worried about specs on Togekiss because I think it's pretty good as a defensive Pokemon. Yeah. Plus, it's going to run a choice item. I imagine Choice Scarf is better.
Sure. I guess I have seen Nasty Plot before on it, but.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it could run Nasty Plot.
Nasty Plot set, but yeah.
Which would be a problem. But
yeah.
But we'll see. So I actually probably 10 minutes before we got on this call.
Okay.
I switched. Thunderwave was originally discharged.
Okay.
And again, I was talking about this team, and originally I had discharge, and they were saying hey, I think Thunderwave would be better. And I was saying I like discharge because it helps me 1v1 Vaporeon better. Seeing as we both have water absorb. What's that?
Oh, I was just thinking, do you how much would a discharge actually do to a Vaporeon? Because this thing doesn't hit that hard anyway. But
right.
Yeah.
But discharge is going to hit Vaporeon harder than. Oh yeah. Boulder Ice Beam is going to hit Lanturn. Plus, sure. if it runs well, then again, I don't have a recovery move, but
yeah,
Lanturn doesn't learn one. And if Vaporeon were to click Toxic, I could always just Heal Bell it off, and so that's nothing to worry about. And I could Thunderwave it if I needed to, even though I would probably rather have Toxic on.
Yeah, or even Scald. Well, you can't. Gosh, you can't get the Scald Bird because he's Water Blurb. Never mind.
Yeah. Both Water Absorb. And so, and so this defensive spread is good for it. Actually tanks a max attack adamant earthquake from Crocodile. It can survive one exactly as long as there's no critical hit or boosting item or something.
Sure.
So I was pretty surprised to see that, especially given Lanturn's relatively low physical defense, but it's got pretty high HP stat.
It does, and that can get you a long way.
Definitely makes up for it.
For sure.
And so, this actually has a really good core with Crobat, a good Volt Switch U-turn core.
Yeah, cover each other's weaknesses because they reasonably.
Yeah, they covered each other's weaknesses really, really well. I think the only thing that is not covered is Psychic.
Yeah.
And kind of stinks. Gabe has the most Psychic types out of anybody in the league, I believe, with 2.
Okay.
A lot of the teams have none. Yeah. So, then again, Zen Headbutt on Metagross, which is probably what I would worry about more.
Sure.
A Psychic move on Mew is, that's not going to straight up kill Lanturn either.
Right. You do have 2. If you're afraid of Psychic types, you do have 2 Dark types here at least. So,
yes. And so, not safe, I think, to click Psychic move in the face of. I think especially, talking about Metagross, it's not really safe to click Zen Headbutt when Sableye could just come in and then Will-O-Wisp it.
Yeah.
And it's crippled.
Yep.
And then Tyranitar might get a
Chople Berry. Okay. Tyranitar might get a what? He might get a what?
Tyranitar I made to kind of deal with deal with a bunch of different Pokemon, but not deal with them all at the same time.
Okay. All right.
So my original idea for this Tyranitar was to bait Ditto. Because I had a feeling, or I have a feeling that he will switch Ditto in on Tyranitar. Okay. Just Gabe knows that that's my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I like to have a Tyranitar that can do a lot of work.
Sure.
And so if Ditto were to come in, copy Tyranitar, see that I have superpower. I would bait the superpower, survive, and then kill with my own superpower.
Yeah.
That's my my goal, at least. There was a way I could run my Tyranitar with like no attack investment and a whole bunch of defense and HP.
Oh, okay.
So that
So it doesn't do
so that I didn't need the Choppleberry.
Yeah.
And I could just survive, and because Ditto has naturally lower HP, it would die.
Yeah.
Plus, it would be at -1 defense.
Sure.
From the superpower drop.
Own superpower, yeah.
Yeah. So I put this speed investment to outspeed uninvested Mew. Which I think is definitely a possibility. And then it 2-hit KOs. It guaranteed 2-hit KOs with Crunch, unless it's like max HP, max defense Impish. Impish or Bold, in which case it's like a 90%. Oh, actually, no, never mind. With Sandstorm damage, it is a guaranteed 2-hit KO with Crunch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then Stone Edge is just my strongest stab move. That's probably what I would click on everything that wouldn't otherwise die to Crunch.
Yeah.
Or Superpower. Superpower can deal with Crocodile very well. I think that one-shots Crocodile pretty easily.
I imagine. I don't know.
If I haven't already taken damage, then I'll survive an Earthquake.
Yeah. What about if he does run Intimidate, I wonder if you survive a -1, or if he survives a -1 superpower. But
I would imagine he probably does. So if he has Intimidate and Tyranitar's in and Tyranitar has not taken any damage, no, never mind. I was going to say I might not click superpower, because then he could just one-shot me with Earthquake regardless, because I have -1 defense, but I am not fast enough to outpace Crocodile. Unless he's uninvested, which I would find highly unlikely.
Yeah, I would be too. I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And so you said so you said the speed outspeeds uninvested Mew?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So Mew, 31 IV Mew uninvested is 236. So I put in 237 just so that I can outpace it. So if if Mew outpaces Tyranitar, then I know that it's, I know it's got some speed investment and is more than likely a more offensive Mew. So, Tyranitar might be my designated lead to click Stealth Rock.
Sure.
But then again, I could always get in late game rocks. I thought about, I was eventually talked out of it. I was thinking about running, instead of Toxic on Sableye, running Taunt. That I could open Sableye and, he opens Mew, and I know he likes to run Hazards Mew. So just clicking Taunt and denying him hazards could be pretty fun, big. Yeah. But then again, I have my Crobat to come in whenever Vaporeon comes in. Click Defog. It's not going to be wouldn't be hopefully too big of a deal.
Right.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet. I don't know. Do you have anything else you'd like to add about, I guess, the team overall, or anything, or?
Not. No, I just hope that whatever I assume he'll probably bring Togekiss, even though I don't I'm not like too terribly scared of it.
Sure.
I just I know that if he brings the right Togekiss, it could give the whole team a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. And again, I think Crobat being able to come in and chip it with Super Fang is a pretty good option. Unless he's like scarfed or something.
I wonder if he learns agility. I don't know if he can double dance. Like, it'd be cool if he ran like agility, nasty plot Togekiss. I don't even know if it learns it, but I know it learns nasty plot. Okay, well, don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, thank goodness. But yeah, and then I have other Pokemon that'll naturally outpace it. And so, it might actually be a good idea if I wanted to drop Fire Blast on my Dragapult in favor of Thunderbolt, because that would handle Togekiss just a wee bit better than Shadow Ball would.
Sure. Also the Vaporeon, I suppose.
Yes. So it hits two of his kind of scary Pokemon, two of his higher tier Mons for some pretty good damage compared to the other moves that Dragapult would run.
I mean, are you scared of Ice-Q? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, how do I say it? Like, are you scared like enough of Ice-Q that you think it's worth it to run the Fire Blast then?
So I'm scared. So again, my plan is not to give him the no ice face.
Sure, yeah.
But who knows? He could switch him in on a Tyranitar Crunch or something like that. And then he's not gonna. No ice face is not going to survive a Stone Edge from Tyranitar.
Right.
And it's not really going to do too much with Reversal or Icicle Crash. But, there's always that chance that it could get the no ice face. And so that is one thing I'm worried about. I don't know if I'm scared enough of it to warrant the Fire Blast, because again, Shadow Ball is... unless he's a really, really specially defensive
Ice-Q.
Shadow Ball is still, I believe, a 2-hit KO. And then, if he were to run, basically, as long as he doesn't get his Shellac Berry, sure. I'm fine. But if he does end up getting his Shellac Berry, then, and Dragapult's already in, then I kill with any move I click. So...
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. He only has one Ghost Resist. So if...
The Krook?
Yeah, and Crocodile, I think it takes...
It probably
I think it takes pretty good damage from Shadow Ball anyway. I don't think it's a 2-hit KO or anything. But, probably doesn't want to be switching in on a whole time.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so Shadow Ball is going to be a very spammable move here.
Especially if you get the Spadef drop.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, if Dragapult gets the Spadef drop on Crocodile switching in, then, I might just have to stay in and click another Shadow Ball.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
I have to calc it, obviously. I don't want to
for sure.
just bet on it, but
for sure. I noticed too, I don't you have 4 in each of these. Is that did you calc? Is that better than just having 8 extra HP?
Yeah, so I used that bulk maximizing tool
that sent me,
that I like. That I found is not flawless, but but it's a pretty good tool.
Yeah.
I found that it is better. I think it sponges hits better on the defensive side and the specially defensive side, with 4 in each stat, but it's relatively negligible, I think.
Yeah. Well, don't forget to look at the speed.
Yes, definitely. I will do that as soon as we get off.
All right. Well, cool. Okay, Justice. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to get some insight into your thought process. You seem to be a very defensive player. Like a lot of your mods are just designed to, I guess, disrupt your opponent's game plan more so than further your own, if that makes sense.
Yes. So usually I worry more about what my opponent's going to bring than getting my own stuff started. Then again, I have run weakness policy Tyranitar twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best, you know, I mean, you hear it all the time. The best offense is a good defense, and so I don't know if I would agree with that 100%. But I think in the context of a Pokemon Draft League, being able to deny your opponent whatever game plan they have is really valuable. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is a zero-sum game, right? Like if you know, if they, I don't know, stopping them it does the same kind of for you than furthering your own stuff. If, you know, it doesn't really matter how you kill it or kill their mons, whether it's with a Dragon Dance or with a Toxic that slowly kills them. It's kind of all the same.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, man. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.